I never told my son about my $40,000 monthly salary, even though he always saw me living a simple life. One day, he invited me to dinner with his wife's parents, who were visiting from abroad. I decided to see how they would treat a poor person by pretending to be a broke and naive mother. But the moment I stepped through the door of that restaurant, everything changed. What happened that night devastated my daughter-in-law and her family in a way they never imagined. And trust me, they deserved it. Let me take you back to the beginning so you understand exactly how we got here. My name is Denise Carter. I turned 62 last spring. To the outside world, and especially to my only child, Ryan, I've always looked like an ordinary single mom who got by on a modest paycheck. I drove a 15-year-old silver Honda Civic with a dent in the rear bumper that I never bothered to fix. I shopped at Costco and Target, clipped coupons, and kept the thermostat at 68 degrees in winter to save on the electric bill. My condo in Bellevue, just outside Seattle, is 2 bedrooms, 1.5 baths, built in 1998. Nothing fancy. The furniture is comfortable but dated. The artwork on the walls came from garage sales or was painted by Ryan when he was in middle school. Ryan is 34 now. He's a good man, kind, hardworking, a little too trusting sometimes. He works as a project manager for a mid-sized construction firm downtown. He met Emily Langford 4 years ago at a charity gala his company sponsored. They married 2 years later in a tasteful outdoor ceremony on Bainbridge Island. I paid for the rehearsal dinner and gave them $10,000 toward the honeymoon because that's what I could afford at the time. They never questioned it. Emily is polite, intelligent, and for the first couple of years seemed genuinely fond of me. But her parents, Victoria and Terrence Langford, were another story. The Langfords live in a gated community in Rancho Mirage, near Palm Springs. Terrence made his fortune in commercial real estate in the 80s and 90s. He still owns strip malls and office parks across Southern California and Arizona. Victoria comes from what she calls old California money, though I've never seen any evidence beyond the name-dropping. They have a second home in La Quinta, a yacht moored in Newport Beach, and they winter in Aspen. They speak in the clipped, confident tones of people who have never once worried about next month's mortgage payment. At the wedding, they were civil. Victoria complimented my navy dress, so vintage, and Terrence asked if I needed help finding something more appropriate for the family photos. I smiled, thanked them, and said I was fine. I've dealt with worse in boardrooms. But over the next 3 years, the little comments started. At Thanksgiving, the first year, Victoria asked, loud enough for the whole table to hear, if my office job came with benefits, because it must be hard at your age. At Ryan's birthday dinner the following spring, Terrence offered to look into a retirement community for me when the time comes. Emily always changed the subject quickly, and Ryan would shoot me apologetic looks across the table. I never corrected them. I never said a word about the fact that I was the one who had quietly paid off Ryan's student loans after college. He still thinks it was a scholarship windfall. I never mentioned that the small inheritance from my late aunt that helped them buy their first house in Kirkland was actually a wire transfer from one of my brokerage accounts. I never told Ryan that my administrative position was actually Senior Vice President of Global Supply Chain Operations at Horizon Technologies, a Fortune 200 company, and that my total compensation package averaged just under $500,000 a year, not counting stock grants that had vested into 7 figures. Why keep it secret? Because I grew up watching my mother work 2 jobs and still worry about the electric bill. I promised myself my son would never feel entitled to money he hadn't earned. I wanted him to hustle, to fail sometimes, and learn the dignity of a paycheck he signed for himself. And honestly, I liked the quiet power of it, knowing I could buy the restaurant we were about to eat in 10 times over and still choosing to live like I couldn't afford the valet parking. That felt like control. Then came the phone call. It was a rainy Tuesday in late October. Ryan's voice sounded tight, the way it used to when he was 10 and had to confess he'd broken something. "Mom, Emily's parents are flying up this weekend. First time in Seattle since the wedding. They want to do a proper family dinner Saturday night, somewhere nice. They're insisting." I leaned against the kitchen counter, stirring oatmeal. "Okay, where?" "Le Ciel, downtown, 7 o'clock. I whistled low. Le Ciel is the kind of place where the sommelier has a better resume than most CEOs. Average check per person runs $400 to $500 before wine. "Sounds expensive," I said neutrally. "Yeah," he hesitated. "They're paying. They want it to be special. Mom, would you mind dressing, nice, not too casual?" There it was. I closed my eyes for a second. "Okay, honey, I'll be there." After we hung up, I stood in my closet for a long time. Then I made a decision. If they wanted to see the struggling single mom they'd already decided I was, I would give them the performance of a lifetime. Saturday arrived cold and gray. I chose the oldest dress in my closet, a navy polyester blend I bought at Macy's clearance in 2009. It had faint pilling under the arms and a tiny tear I'd mended with matching thread. I paired it with plain black flats that lost their shape years ago. No earrings, no necklace, no watch. I pulled my hair into a low ponytail with an elastic band. Makeup, drugstore foundation, mascara I'd had since Ryan's high school graduation, and chapstick. I carried the canvas tote I use for library books and groceries, faded green, one-strap fraying. When the Uber dropped me off at Le Ciel, the doorman in his long black coat gave me a polite but puzzled look. I smiled timidly and stepped inside. The dining room smelled of truffle oil, seared beef, and money. Ryan spotted me first. He stood up so fast his chair scraped. "Mom!" Emily rose next, smoothing her emerald green sheath dress. "Hi, Denise." Victoria and Terrence stayed seated. Victoria wore cream silk with pearl and diamond drops that caught every light in the room. Terrence's charcoal suit looked like it had been steamed 5 minutes earlier. His cufflinks were engraved with tiny anchors, probably a yacht club thing. I walked toward the table with small, careful steps, like someone afraid of scuffing the marble floor. Ryan pulled out my chair. "You look nice, Mom." "Thank you, sweetheart." I sat, folding my hands in my lap. Victoria's eyes traveled from my hair to my shoes and back up again. Her smile was thin. "Denise, so lovely to see you again." Terrence gave a single nod. "Evening." The waiter appeared with heavy leather menus. No prices. Victoria leaned toward me. "Would you like help with the French, dear?" I opened the menu and pretended to frown. "Oh, yes, please. I don't recognize most of these words." She sighed, soft but audible. "I'll order for you. The grilled chicken is straightforward, not too rich." Ryan shifted. Emily stared at her water glass. Appetizers arrived on plates the size of hubcaps, with food the size of quarters. Victoria took a tiny bite of seared foie gras. "This is exquisite. $85, but you taste the difference." I nodded. "It looks beautiful." Terrence chuckled. "Not your usual Friday night takeout, I'm guessing." I gave a small laugh. "No, sir. Usually it's Chinese from the place down the street." Victoria's eyebrows lifted fractionally. "Charming." The conversation drifted to their flight first class from Palm Springs, the private car that met them at SeaTac, the suite at the Four Seasons. Victoria described a recent trip to Provence, villa rental $12,000 a week, private chef, wine tastings where bottles started at $300. "You develop a palate," she said, swirling her Pinot Noir. "Anything under 200 just tastes like grape juice now." I sipped my ice water. "I usually get the house Cabernet at Applebee's. It's nice." Terrence smiled indulgently. "Everyone starts somewhere." Then Victoria set her glass down. "Denise, we wanted this dinner to be a chance for all of us to really connect. Family matters." I nodded. She continued, "Ryan is wonderful. Emily loves him deeply. But marriage requires stability. Emotional, yes, but financial most of all. We've supported them generously. Down payment on the Kirkland house, $120,000, wedding costs, honeymoon in Santorini. We believe in investing in our children's future." Ryan cleared his throat. "Mom doesn't need to hear." Victoria raised one manicured hand. "Let me finish, Ryan. This is important." She turned back to me. "We know raising a child alone was difficult. We admire your effort. But Ryan is at a different stage now. He has responsibilities. We don't want him distracted by additional worries." Additional worries, the polite way of saying me. Terrence leaned forward. "We've talked it over. We'd like to help you personally."